Alright, tonight I mixed it up and I switched over back to Disney to Hercules from 1997. I really enjoyed this one. I was a big Percy Jackson fan in middle school, like absolutely adored it. And so I knew that this was a very different telling of the myths. I also, I read the Odyssey, I read other Greek myths because I was so into Percy Jackson. I read the Rick Riordan Greek mythology books. I've done it all. And I've never seen this one, and I knew this one was different, so as long as I ignore the myths how I understand them, it's great. I just gotta ignore everything I know about Greek mythology, basically, because if you think too hard on the Greek mythology part, things start falling apart, but there's a lot of versions of the myth anyway, so it works out nonetheless. I will say, kind of on another tangent, I've never seen this one before, that's a fact, but I've heard the songs, and I've heard them at Disney World mostly. I'd seen some clips online of this, but, when I hear Go the Distance, I think of the fireworks shows at Magic Kingdom of Happily Ever After and Enchantment, and, it's nice because, I go to Disney a lot, and when I go, I don't usually watch the fireworks shows. I've watched it once or twice, but usually I'm in Adventureland, almost always Adventureland, occasionally Tomorrowland, riding Pirates of the Caribbean as many times in a row as possible, and then hopping over and riding, usually Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. That's closed for refurbishment now, so now it'll be Haunted Mansion. So I'm going back and forth across the park while the fireworks are happening, and one of my favorite parts is while I'm, heading off to ride my favorite ride, and this song starts, I Can Go the Distance, starts playing as the fireworks show is going off, and it's such a vibe, and I so desperately look forward to my next Disney trip just to do that. I always like late 90s, early 2000s movies with, the beginning of, 3D animation, all 90s and early 2000s, where, it's really, visibly different. It does not blend in at all. It is visibly a different animation style, super obvious, but it's kind of fun, and it's an aesthetic that, it's nostalgic for me, of course. It's nostalgic for a lot of us. I also really like the story. I think young Hercules looks a little weird, but after we got into it a little bit, I liked it overall. I like the story. I actually really like Hades. He's, now one of my favorite villains of these movies I've watched. He's one of the cooler ones. And so overall, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I really did 8 out of 10. It's a hard one. I guess we'll go with 8 out of 10. Play it safe. Super duper indecisive on these ratings, but I liked it. Solid time, and I have great fond memories related to this songs, but not necessarily the movie, and so it was a good time to see the songs in context.